Today we are going to start our first session on Atlas. I hope you all have Atlas with you. Those who do not have can sit with someone else. The last time you are allowed to sit with someone else, otherwise you are supposed to have Atlas with you. Hope you all are settled with Atlas, right? Firstly, we'll talk about three things about Atlas. Since we, yeah, I'll take it later. Right? First thing that we need to understand three things about Atlas. What is the role of Atlas in civil service examination? Then second thing is that what is the color of the Atlas indicates. What are the different colors indicate? When you look at the Atlas, it will help you understand so many things. Third thing, how to approach Atlas, right? So let's first talk about role of Atlas in civil service examination. The first thing is that there are good number of direct questions asked in preliminary examination. Direct questions. You can see always that there are at least 4, 5, 6 questions, except this year, right? Though trend is changing, but you cannot say about, you cannot predict about civil services. That's why I always call it UPSC stands for Unpredictable Service Commission. It always comes with a very sweet and very complex surprises, right? But traditionally there are at least 5, 6, 7 questions from Atlas area. So you will have direct questions. The second thing is that it helps you understand and raises interest in current affairs. Right. When you go through current affairs, very often it happens that suppose if you are reading about West Asia, and you don't have much idea about West Asian countries, so your interest will be slightly lesser. For example, if you are reading South China Sea or G Summit to take place, say somewhere in Tokyo, let's say Kyoto Protocol, the moment you know that Kyoto in Japan, a picture is created. So that helps you concentrate, focus on current affairs, and besides it helps you learn that. If you have some idea about the regional aspects, you can have greater idea about the current affairs topic. Third is, again, it helps you understand international relationship. IR, topics on IR. When you are reading topics on IR, again, the situation is like that. So, for example, if you are talking about the Mekong-Ganga project, right? And if you have fair amount of idea that where do we exist as a nation, and then which side Mekong is flowing. So it will make again a picture. So several such, say, let's say India-Iran relationship. If you are talking about TAPI project, right, the gas pipeline from Iran to India. So which are the countries which will be bypassed by these? Which are the countries which must be there within that? So it helps you understand what are the hindrances in TAPI pipeline. For example, TAPI pipeline has to pass through Afghanistan and Pakistan. The moment you have the picture of the whole region, you can easily understand the moment Pakistan comes in the place. So it will not be easy at all for us. Right? If you are talking about any cooperation between China and India, you know that Himalaya acts as a barrier in different physical aspects. So that helps you understand international relations. Fourth thing is that it again helps you correlate with the location of a country and its socio-economic condition. That means, in other way, we can say that geographical factors and the evolution of a socio-economic society of a region. For example, mountainous region. So definitely we have some amount of idea that what kind of economy will be there, what kind of society you can imagine in that area. Plain area, again you can imagine that agriculture must be a very important activity in that, let's say, central plain of USA. The moment you see an atlas, you have right in front of your eyes physiography of that region. So even if you don't have much amount of information about that area, you can correlate it with the economy of that area. Right, mountainous region, let's say western part of USA is having rocky mountains. So that means the characteristics of economy and the society will be similar to that of mountainous states of our country. The moment you come to know Japan, Japan is a mountainous state. Basically, produced island arcs are produced along the convergent boundary. Convergent boundary produces similar to mountain features. So we can easily correlate that what kind of society you would expect, what kind of economy you would expect. If Japan is a developed country, that means it must be dependent on the imported raw material, right? So even if you are reading world history, and then if you are understanding why Japanese went into war, why Japanese occupied China, right? Why the Industrial Revolution led to colonization of different countries. Intensity of colonization increased after the Industrial Revolution because you need so many things. So that ways it helps you understand a lot as far as the atlas, general information about the atlas is concerned. Then second part is that you have to consciously use for all these things. The second part is color of atlas. What does the color of atlas indicates? It gives you a large amount of information. The first thing, the red color. That means it must be an elevated area. Higher features. Right? Like, for example, mountains, plateaus, etc. will be shown by red color. Right? Then second one is blue color. It indicates water. Third is white color. Means glaciers or snow-covered areas. If you look at yellow, dry areas. Green, forested or wet areas. So the moment you look at atlas, color indicates, color tells you volume of information. If you look at the glacier white color, it will also be indicative of rivers. Now, the different shade of similar color indicates the intensity of the same. For example, very sharp red color means greater height. Deep blue means greater depth. Light blue means shallow water. So the moment you look at the atlas, you can easily understand the continental shelf. Continental shelves are relatively shallow areas. So if you look at atlas, if it is slightly whitish blue, that means it is continental shelf area. So only looking at the atlas itself, you can tell that, you can understand whether the continental shelf of an area is broader or narrower. You don't need to go into the books about, let's say suppose in western coast of our country, if you look at the western side, so that will be, the white color will be much broader. You can easily conclude that continental shelf of western coast is wider as compared to eastern coast. Then obviously you are supposed to read why, that's a different issue. But you can have good amount of information about it. And then again, looking at the atlas, you can understand the features. By understanding the features, geographical features, again you can correlate with socio-economic conditions of that area. Right? For example, if you look at Africa, apart from Sahara region, the entire Africa will be shown in red color. That's red of lighter version. That means they are plateau areas. The flat plateau areas must be rich in mineral resources. So we can correlate and integrate this way. Then the third aspect is how to approach atlas. Now, learning atlas is a process. Is a process which you must follow, and it will take hardly 15 to 20 minutes to remember one single continent of the magnitude of, let's say, South America. It may take 25 to 30 minutes to understand the broader pictures and have a picture of the entire continent like Europe, Asia, which is slightly bigger. So if you have fair amount of information, first the broader picture, then second level minor pictures. Similarly, if you look at India, several questions will be directly asked that which of the following state will share a common boundary with, let's say, Punjab, say Pakistan. Once there was a question that which of the following state will not touch the border of Pakistan. Similar questions can be created about Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, etc., etc. Pak Bay separates and all these things. So broader picture if you have, first we'll go for broader pictures, then we'll look into the minor pictures and the smaller features which are relevant from the examination point of view. So this is entirely a process which will have to go. Then remembering the atlas. In the class itself we will have good amount of exercises which will help you remember for a much longer time. But it is always advisable to have an atlas or map in your room, so that it should not be a proper like time fixed period to remember the atlas. The moment you, let's say, wake up and early in the morning having a breakfast, you can just keep on looking at that without actually trying to remember it, right? Without actually making an extra effort to remember it. If you try to make an extra effort, you may forget it. You may complicate things. So, right? Don't make any extra effort. Just try to have a look at a glimpse of it every now and then. If you are reading geography, then there are several maps in the books itself. So the moment you see a place, the moment you see you are reading a feature, just try to have a glimpse on the atlas. Let's say, for example, physiographic division of India, right? So have a physical map of India in front of your eyes, and every now and then keep on looking when you are reading northern mountains. So okay, this is the shape of the northern mountain. Then you read several features. If you start from north, middle and south, okay, it is broader in the western side, so that color will be indicative of that. If red color is much broader in the western side, that means Himalaya is broader than the western side and narrower in the eastern side. So that will not only help you remember the atlases, but also keep you concentrated in studies as well, right? So we'll take first the easiest continent to remember, South America. Some of you have read it also, but let's revise it, and for those who are new, you can just be a part of the process, right? South America. South America, political. We'll start with political. First have these glimpses on countries, right? That countries is starting with, look at French Guiana from top, right side, right? French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. The major countries, you can look at that, right? I repeat, French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. Now, for the next 2 minutes, try to look at the shape of the country, very roughly size of the country, and the capital city of each country and its location. right? Now let's be apart. Don't see the atlas now. Let's try to just follow the process. Just follow me. French Guiana, speak out. French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. I repeat it. French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. One more time. French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. One more time. French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. One more time. French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. One more time. Good. One more time. Brazil. Can we go back? Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. Beautiful. French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. Beautiful. Now, there is a very thin line between cramming and making a picture of the atlas. Don't try to cram it up, right? When we are recalling, when we are repeating it several times, keep the atlas in your imagination right in front of your eyes, rather than just cramming up. The moment you cram it up, you will forget. If you make a picture of whole South America with its shape and the relative position of different countries, you can easily remember that, right? Let's play a game now, right? I'll tell you the name of the country and then I'll tell you the name of other countries. Just you have to tell yes or no whether the border is touching, right? Hope you understand that, what I'm asking. Let's take Argentina, Uruguay, Bolivia. Argentina will touch Bolivia. Yes? Don't see the atlas in between. Don't see the atlas in between. Argentina will share its boundary with Brazil. True or false? False? True. Don't see the atlas in between. मेरे आँख कानून के हाथ से ज़्यादा लंबे. I can see that, right? हाँ, ठीक है. अब देखो, Argentina and look at this border Argentina is sharing with Brazil, right? Raise your head. Raise your head quickly. Don't get stuck with the atlas, right? Next country I am taking is Peru, right? Just recall the surroundings of Peru. Peru will have a common boundary with Argentina. True or false? And don't see the atlas. Peru will have a common boundary with Colombia. True or false? जरा एक बार देखना कितना लंबा बॉर्डर शेयर करता है. Take it? Raise your head, please. Don't see that. Next country I am taking is Paraguay. Recall the countries, right? Paraguay will share a common boundary with Argentina. Brazil. Uruguay. Which country will come in between? Brazil and Argentina. Brazil and Argentina. देखना नहीं है एटलस को बीच में मेरी जान, बार बार बोल रहा हूँ. जब मैं खुद ही दिखाता हूँ ना आपको, this is the process. So trust the process and try to make the picture, right? I'm taking another countries, Guyana. Suriname, एक side. Venezuela. Suriname will share its boundary with Colombia. True or false? Will not share. Now, the next 2 minutes you are supposed to look the relative position of different countries. Go ahead. And their capital cities also. Look at the position of equator and the number of countries which are bypassed by equator, through which equator is passing, and the Tropic of Capricorn. You all know that equatorial region is the region with very high amount of rainfall. So the moment you see equator, that will be a very dense forested area, right? Unless until it is defied by the mountainous region. And whenever you look at the atlas, look at very fast. Now raise your head. Just, I'm going to torture one of you or few of you, and the rest enjoy it. You start from French Guiana in anti-clockwise direction.
French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana,
Shabash.
Venezuela,
Good.
Colombia, Chile,
Ecuador.
Ecuador, Chile,
Chile. Any special attention with Chile? Peru. Chile. Argentina. Uruguay. Paraguay.
Then
Bolivia. Brazil. You start from Brazil.
Bolivia, Paraguay,
Good.
Uruguay, Argentina,
Shabash.
Chile, Peru, then Ecuador,
Good.
then
Colombia. Not allowed. Venezuela.
then French Guiana.
फिर ये क्या है? You will be tempted to do that, but don't do it, right? Because when you are undergoing a stress and then you try to recall, you'll remember forever. Yeah, you start. What's your name, please? Rohit. Yeah, Rohit. From Brazil to that.
Bolivia,
Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile,
Peru,
Shabash.
Ecuador,
Colombia.
Venezuela,
Good.
Guyana,
Guyana, Suriname, Guyana. When you are, be a part of the process, Dharmender, right? Don't see the atlas in between. You will have all the time in the world to see your atlas. Right now, just listen to it. All the three organs I am making active: eyes, mind, ear. Right? So do that. Yeah. French Guiana.
French Guiana,
Hmm.
Suriname,
Hmm.
Guyana,
Good.
Venezuela,
Shabash.
Colombia,
Hmm.
Ecuador, Peru,
Hmm.
Chile,
Good.
Argentina,
Beautiful.
Uruguay,
Paraguay.
Colombia, Bolivia,
Bolivia. Shabash. Right? We repeated last time. French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. Look at the physical portion. Physical map of South America. Starting from the top. Can we look at and try to correlate it with the political map as well? Starting from top, Venezuela, look at Lake Maracaibo. Lake Maracaibo. Yes. The largest petroleum producing region of South America, making Venezuela the largest petroleum producing country of South America and a member of OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Lake Maracaibo. And keep on writing on the atlas itself these information, if it is yours, of course. Lake Maracaibo, the largest petroleum producing region of South America. Then look at Guyana Highland, rich in mineral resources. Guyana Highland. Just below that, slightly right. Right there you have Angel Waterfall, the highest waterfall of the world, on river Crony. Crony is a tributary of Orinoco. So Orinoco might be, Crony might not be given on the atlas, may not be mentioned, but Orinoco is the main river. So whether it is Orinoco or Crony, both are correct answer. Crony is a tributary of Orinoco, and on Crony we have Angel Waterfall, the highest waterfall of the world. Right there you have Llanos, tropical grassland, named Llanos. On Guyana Highland itself, Llanos in Venezuela. Just below come the Amazon River, the largest river of the world, and look at selvas. That is the Amazon forest. It is also called Brazilian rainforest. माधवन 3 Idiot में वहीं गया था. Have you seen that 3 Idiot movie?
Yes, yes.
हाँ, अभी तक शायद वापस नहीं आया है नहीं? बनाया कोई दूसरी मूवी उसने?
नहीं.
नहीं सर,
हाँ सर.
हाँ, खड़ूस वाला नहीं,
तनुवीर सर.
कन्वर्ट्स मैंने रिटर्न
वो तो पहले ही बनी थी शायद उससे, उसके बाद. अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ सेकंड वाले उससे.
मास हो गए रिटर्न.
आगे वापस आ गया इसका मतलब. But this is the densest forest on the surface of the earth, Brazilian rainforest. It is also called equatorial rainforest or Amazon forest.
Amazon flow
West to east from Andes mountain towards Atlantic Ocean. Right? Tropical grassland. We'll cover that later, why a tropical grassland will be in and around any evergreen forest. So this is evergreen forest. Hardwood trees will be the norm of equatorial rainforest. One tree which is found here, 6th class NCERT, that is called balsa. That is the lightest wood of the world, which is generally used to make dummy of aeroplane. Then just slightly below you have Mato Grosso Plateau, rich in gold and iron ore. Mato Grosso Plateau. Gold and iron both, iron ore. Then right there you have, even I didn't find that. गोल्ड ढूंढ रहे हो या माटो ग्रोसो प्लेटो ढूंढ रहे हो? यस, गुड क्वेश्चन. गोल्ड तो ब्राजीलियंस ढूंढ रहे होंगे, हमें सिर्फ वो प्लेटो ढूंढना है. रिमेंबर इट. जस्ट राइट साइड यू सी कैंपोस एंड कटिंगास. Campos Cerrados. Campos and Caatingas both are tropical grassland. One is tropical thorn, one is tropical grassland.
Which one is wrong?
Caatingas. This side of Brazil receives very lesser amount of rainfall.
Sir, western part will receive, I think, minimum rainfall.
नहीं, अपने थिंकिंग से नहीं होगा ना. हम लोग जब कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ेंगे इट विल क्लियर वंस वी.
तो इस वजह से मुझे लगा है.
नहीं, पलट लो पेज, नेक्स्ट पेज देख लो. ब्राजील पूरा वेस्ट साउथ अमेरिका का रेनफॉल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में क्या है. जस्ट नेक्स्ट पेज. Caatingas is the tropical thorn. Just below we can see that a river, Parna and Paraguay. Parna and Paraguay river. Can we see there? Parna and Paraguay. Then you have the waterfall, Iguazu waterfall. Iguazu waterfall. Right there you have the second largest hydel project of the world, Itaipu. Itaipu, Itaipu. It used to be the largest before the construction of Three Gorge Dam in China. Now it is second largest. Itaipu, 1400 megawatt capacity. Itaipu, Itaipu. Second largest single hydroelectricity project of the world after Three Gorge Dam in China. It's a joint venture of Brazil and Paraguay. Then you can see Gran Chaco. Gran Chaco, again a tropical grassland with occasional trees as well. Here you get a tree, Cubraco, Quebracho, Cubraco. Ebracho, Cubraco. That is the hardest wood of the world and is nicknamed as axe breaker. Right there on the right side you see Pampas, one of the most important temperate grassland of the world. Pampas in Argentina and Uruguay border. Most productive temperate grassland of the world. Tropical region कहाँ है वो? 30 degree के साउथ में होगा. So that area is basically the area which receives slightly higher amount of rainfall. So the temperature is lower. So the moment we say temperate, it is about lower temperature. Look at in political map. Okay, forget about political. Right now you see that Patagonia desert and Patagonia plateau as well. Whole of Argentina, right side of Andes mountain. Patagonia desert or Patagonia plateau. We can see Magellan Strait. The first geographer who went around the globe. Didn't complete his journey, he was killed in Philippines. by the natives. Right there you have Falkland Island, a part of UK, a controversy between Argentina and UK. Falkland Island. Can we see all along the western coast? Andes Mountain, right? Andes Mountain. Starting from the top, Mount Cotopaxi in Ecuador. Ecuador, recall Ecuador, or correlated the political. Cotopaxi, the highest active volcano of the world. Cotopaxi, highest active volcano of the world. Then look at Lake Titicaca, between Peru and Bolivia. Lake Titicaca, highest navigable lake of the world. Highest navigable lake of the world. La Paz, the capital city of Bolivia, is the highest capital city of the world. La Paz. Highest capital city of the world. Can we look at Atacama Desert? The driest desert of the world. Atacama Desert between Chile and Peru, top of Chile. The coastal area, Atacama Desert. The driest desert of the world, Arica, is a place located in this desert, is the driest place on the surface of the earth. Guano, Guano. The birds found in this region. Its dropping is used for phosphate fertilizers.
Which regions?
Atacama Desert I am talking about. Guano, Guano. The droppings of the bird, which is used to make phosphate fertilizer. That's why Chile is one of the largest exporter, in fact the largest exporter of phosphate fertilizer in the world.
So what do you mean, like birds?
Droppings, potty.
Birds dropping.
जैसे if sometimes you have the example that इंसान का बस चले तो पॉटी भी खा ले, तो यहाँ पे बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल है कि for economy we can do any damn thing. So that makes Chile the largest exporter of fertilizers. Right there you have Mount Aconcagua. Aconcagua, the highest peak of Andes and South America. Highest peak of Andes and South America. Aconcagua, just right side of Atacama Desert, somewhere there you look at. Right there you have Ojos del Salado. Ojos del Salado, Cerro Ojos del Salado.
It is a height, like 690 in height meter.
Sorry?
The number written is the height, the right mountain height.
Yes, that's height. Look at in South America itself, you can look at that. The darker red color indicates higher mountains, lighter red color indicates plateau areas. Mount Ojos del Salado, the highest volcano of the world. Look at near Pampas, just below that you have Valdez Peninsula. Valdez Peninsula. It is the lowest point of South America. It must be maybe written on the atlas itself. Lowest point means the deepest part over a continent portion. Very often it goes below sea level as well. On the continent. When we say lowest point of South America, it means lowest point of the continent, South America.
So there it is a valley.
Maybe valley, maybe a lake. Like for Asia, it is Dead Sea. The lowest point is Dead Sea. Just like highest point, that means highest peak. The lowest point means deeper water. Look at the position of Rio de Janeiro. Political map, South America, Brazil. Southern portion of Brazil, southeastern portion is the most populated region of Brazil. Rio de Janeiro, de facto capital of Brazil. Right there you have Sao Paulo. Though it is not a port, yet it is called a coffee port of the world. Brazil is the largest producer of coffee, and it produces in large commercial farms, and that farm is called fazendas. Fazendas, fazendas. The coffee port, that is Sao Paulo, has its actual port as Santos. Then there is a rail line. I hope we understand the term Transcontinental Railways. The continent, Transcontinental Railways, any railway line which connects the same continent, the two opposite sides of the same continent. Similar is here, that is called Trans-Andean Railway, after Andes mountain. Trans-Andean Railway. That starts from Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, and it goes to Valparaiso in Chile, just by the side of Santiago. It connects Buenos Aires to Valparaiso. If you look at Chile, Santiago, right there you have Valparaiso. So that Valparaiso is connected with Buenos Aires, passing through the middle of Argentina, and that's called Trans-Andean Railway. Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina. It's called Trans-Andean Railway. Right? We finished South America here. Let's have a clarity about some of the terms which are very often you will encounter in our discussion as well as in the atlas. First, we will look at peninsula and cape. What is the difference?
The area is surrounded by water bodies on three sides.
So both are same. It is protruded land or projected land in the ocean. Right? When the land appears intruding into the oceanic area, they may be explained by these two terms. Either it may be peninsula or a cape. Right? Larger one is called peninsula, smaller one is called cape. Hope we are clear. If you look at in our Cape of Comorin, very small one within a peninsula of India. So when we say peninsula, both are surrounded from three sides by water. Island, all sides. Continent, a super island, you can say that. Right? Relatively super island. Subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, when we use the term. Huh?
Part of a continent.
No. So every country is a part of the continent. When we say Indian subcontinent, means first thing that, what do we mean by continent? Continent has a very distinctive geographical boundary which separate that area from the rest. right? And is big enough in size to be called a continent. When we say Indian subcontinent, if you look at the portion of Himalaya, then take it Arkan Yoma and Pegu Yoma in Myanmar, take Suleiman Kirthar part of Pakistan and then come, then you have Indian Ocean. So it has a very distinctive identity of its own and a clear-cut geographical boundary, but not big enough in size to be called a continent. That's why we call Indian subcontinent, right? That has a clear-cut outer line which separates not only physically but largely culturally also. If you look at the cultural similarity between the nations of Indian subcontinent, you will find great similarities, right? So that's what we say, Indian subcontinent. Then the second term very often you come across is bays and gulfs. Peninsula and Cape, where were you there right now? Yahi the na? Okay. Peninsula and Cape, the moment we say, like, look at, let's say this water area. So any land projected into the water area will be called either peninsula or cape depending upon its size. If big enough, it will be called peninsula. A small one, it will be called cape. Like for example, the entire Indian peninsula, starting from here, look at here, and then you have this much small one. So this in entirety is a peninsular India, right? But this projected is called Cape of Comorin. Point Calimar part. Point Calimar is also a Cape of Good Hope. If you look at South Africa portion, the entire South Africa may be treated as a peninsula, but a small projected land will be treated as Cape, right? Bays and Gulf. Now, it is basically the intrusion of ocean water into the continental areas, or it appears as if ocean water has moved into the continental areas. The broader movement is bays and gulf. Bays are open mouths towards the ocean. Imagine this is ocean, this side ocean, and upper side is continent. So when the mouth is wide open, we call it bays. When it is closed, encircled, generally joined by a strait, we call it Gulf. Persian Gulf, if you look at the shape, Persian Gulf, connected with the Indian Ocean through Strait of Hormuz, right? If you look at Bay of Bengal with much wider. Gulf of Kutch, if you look at Gujarat portion and that, Kutch and Kathiawar Peninsula, the line between this will have slightly narrower. So technically, Gulf and bays are differentiated on the basis of the difference in their shape, right? Wide open mouth, when the portion is connected with the ocean, that is bays. Relatively narrow mouth, that is gulfs. Besides the intrusion of ocean water into the continental areas, we have through creeks. Right, then we have backwaters. Then we have lagoons. Creeks are very narrow, perpendicular. Intrusion of ocean water. Into the continents. Sar Creek. If you look at Sar Creek, the portion of Gujarat, you have here like this. This is the water area. So this intrusion basically is called Sar Creek. फोटो खींचते खींचते तुम भी तो यूपीएससी की तैयारी कर ही सकते हो, हाँ?
सर आज पहली बार मजा आ रहा है।
अच्छा, पहले नहीं मजा आया था?
नहीं सर, इस कोर्स में।
अच्छा अच्छा, इसलिए कि बहुत आसानी से समझ में आ रही होगी तुम्हें चीजें, ठीक है? सर क्रीक. देन यू हैव बैक वाटर्स back. If you look at the technical term, you can understand from the term used into it. Back waters, right? Water entering from the back. What do you mean by that? This Vembanad is the largest backwater in India, Right? If you look at the shape, you will understand it. If start from here, then the intrusion is something like this. This is Vembanad Lake. Kerala is very, very famous for backwaters. And backwaters in Kerala is called Kayals. Very important fishing ground, very important tourist places and all. And I wouldn't be surprised if you get to discuss the importance of backwaters. In
बोट हाउसेस
बोट हाउसेस तो डल लेक में भी होती है कश्मीर में.
नहीं सर जो होता है
हाँ.
फेमस है
Actually, why it is called backwaters? Because the shape of intrusion of water is such that it is surrounded from land in such a manner that ocean waves really do not affect that water. So they are relatively calm water. That's why they are called backwaters. Now look at the moment it is intruded like this. So the moment wave comes, it will hit that area. And that will be turbulent areas as far as the oceanic waves and connection is concerned. This will not be that turbulent. So there will be relatively calm area. That's why they are called backwaters. Right? What was the third one? The lagoons. Huh? No, it will not be fresh water. It will be saline. Ocean, part of ocean. It will be connected with the oceans. The same is about lagoons as well. When we say lagoons, they are basically lakes connected with the ocean. Like for example, when we say largest lake in India, then it will be Chilka. When we say largest freshwater lake in India, Wular, right? Wular Lake. Largest freshwater and largest this thing. Then there are two terms called strait and isthmus. Strait and isthmus. The strait is narrow channel of water connecting two big water bodies or separating two big continental areas. Strait. Right? Let's say Persian Gulf is being joined like this by Strait of Hormuz. Here you have Persian Gulf and here you have Arabian Sea. Strait. Right? When the strait itself is much broader, we call it channels, English channels. Though it's similar, except that the width is much, much wider. It's called channel. Isthmus are similar land features. Land features which joins two big land masses. Big land mass. The best and the most popular isthmus is this one. Here you have North America, here it is South America, and this is called Panama Isthmus. So a narrow piece of land joining two continental masses, two big land masses. We call it isthmus. Hope we are clear. That's all. If you come across any other terms, we'll discuss that later. Let's have a final glimpse of South America. French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil. Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. Thank you.